Hi, my name is Eva Steiner, and this is my project Psychotherapists Around the Globe. I am interviewing the psychotherapists around the world and asking them the same 8 questions. I am wondering how mental health profession is in their country. Today we are going to. Thank you for taking this time for doing this interview with me. Before we start, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, Eva. Thank you for your invitation. Yes, my name is Saranda. I'm psychologist and body psychotherapist working in Kosovo and the founder of the online platform Stress Free Corner.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about your culture? What is some holiday or tradition that your country celebrates? And if your culture would be an emotion, what emotion would it be?
Yeah, as a young and attractive country, Kosovo has a very rich culture and history. There are many opportunities to experience the very old civilization, unique culture, and distinctive tradition, which are very well documented in archaeological parks, natural parks, old houses, towers, and other tower houses and other monuments. Kosovar society is built on family units, even though the family structure has progressively changed. It has been unable to alter the loyalty towards traditions in which a large amount of the Kosovars hold among their extensive families. In the major cities of the country, families consist of the parents and children until the late wish to live separately. Nowadays, females are very frequently well educated and considered equal members in the families with the freedom to organize and to live modern, westernized lifestyles. Kosovo celebrates many holidays a year. 50% of the national holidays are religious holidays dedicated both to Muslim and Christian believers. The non-religious public holidays in Kosovo are like New Year, Constitutional Day, Labor Day, and there are some other special days for ethnic minorities living in Kosovo, Roma, Shkalej, Gorani, and also the Memorial Day, such as Peace Day. To come to the second question, like German says, gute Frage. I haven't thought what would be my culture as an emotion, but I believe it would quite well embrace the gratitude. Gratitude as a positive emotion can have a number of different meanings depending on how others use it and in what context. But in general terms, gratitude stems from the recognition that something good happened to you. Being thankful and appreciative, accompanied by an appraisal that someone, whether another individual or natural sources, were responsible for it.
Okay, the second question. How did you become a psychotherapist in Kosovo, and what is your therapeutic approach?
The mind has the power to shape our lives, they shape our beliefs and expectations, and beyond its material form, the body is a pulsating, a shape which we know who we really are as ourselves and this universe. Hence, a body-mind approach became my path and my goal. So it was a long journey within myself to discover what I wanted really to do and what I wanted to first to do for myself and to be able to share this support to others. Therefore, I have studied for body psychotherapy, also called body-oriented psychotherapy, which is an emerging field that has a spectrum of intentions from treatments of clients suffering from illness, trauma, distress, or imbalance to the improvement of the quality of life. Body psychotherapy is a strand of psychotherapy which helps to assess mental problems, dysfunctional attitudes, and addictive behavior patterns from the perspective of body-mind connection in order to improve integration and to achieve a happier and healthier life.
And how do you become a psychotherapist? Like, did you went direct to this institution, body-mind institution, or do you need to be a psychologist first? How it is in Kosovo?
You can study the psychotherapy without being a psychologist, but in my case, first I have studied psychology at the University of Pristina, and then I have continued with master degree counseling from the University of Tirana, and afterwards I have continued with body psychotherapy.
And is there any law regarding psychotherapy in Kosovo or not yet?
There is no specific law for psychotherapy in Kosovo, but as a psychotherapist, you can, as a psychologist, in fact, you can work.
And you can also work in institutions or just privately?
Yeah, both. In institutions that provide psychosocial support and mental health services, as well as in your own private practice.
Okay, third question. How society looks upon psychotherapy or any psychological help?
Yeah. The prevalence of seeking mental health treatment is not so high in our culture. The pathways taken to reach treatment and the types of treatment, so the pathways or the sequence of the contacts and their duration once someone or their family recognize their distress as a health problem. Also, in our culture, it is common to delay seeking treatment until symptoms are more severe. Further, to seek treatment from a mental health specialist, instead turn more often to primary care. Sometimes they also turn to informal sources or care such as traditional healers, family, and friends. When people use mental health services, prefer therapists of the same gender or conducting, let's say, a mini research about the therapist, asking around if someone can find a good therapist for them. But what I can say as a positive insight is that younger people demonstrate a different relationship between stigma and mental health care than older groups.
Do you maybe know what kind of stigma there is, what kind of beliefs regarding psychotherapy or seeking psychological helps are?
First of all, it was used to believe that people with mental health problems or mental health disorders are crazy people, and if they go and seek for mental health services, then in a way society exclude them from their close circle. I cannot say that this kind of stigma do not exist nowadays, but comparing with the previous time, it is lighter.
Okay, the fourth question. What is your society teaching about child-parent relationship and whether these values of the society also affect how you design your interventions?
It can be hard for a parent to balance the needs of a child with their own needs. Children in Kosovo are in a secure parent-child relationship, and mostly feel safe and protected by their loving and nurturing parents. Mostly children feel confident, and then they can depend on their parents for support. But on the other hand, we see and our society, it's imposing like an ambivalent relationship and toward children, and the parents in such relationship may be overprotective or neglectful and does not provide the child with clear boundaries. And this is also affect how the therapy is designed, the intervention. Mostly this type of parent-child relationship can be seen in families with a history of abuse, neglect, or mental illness.
What are the learned beliefs regarding client-therapist relationship, and can the relationship continue outside the therapy once the therapy process is over?
As a therapist, and especially as a therapist living in a small country, I can say that a dual relationship sometimes are unavoidable. Yes, but a dual relationship can be ethical or unethical depending on the circumstances. The distinguishing factor is often the establishment of mutual trust. And I strongly believe that regardless of the circumstances in which a dual relationship arose, a therapist could be and should be careful to follow ethical guidelines and maintain healthy boundaries. This is what I really believe, and this is what I really want to promote, first for myself and also in discussion with other colleagues, other mental health professionals, that we really cannot isolate ourselves, even though our profession is very individual, and it's then we have really to give space and not to isolate, let's say, isolate our profession and our working routine, but we have really to be careful and to follow and ethical guidelines, and to keep the healthy relationship and to respect our own boundaries.
And is there any entity in Kosovo that in case of therapeutic abuse, the client can turn to them?
Yes, there are certain institutions that not only where clients can complain, not only for in this case for mental health services, but for any other services that they receive, and in many cases it works.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is supervision a must for a therapist in your country?
To ensure your own feelings don't impact the client, it should be a must. Processing them with a supervisor, a colleague, or with as a therapist with your own therapist. And it should be a must not for psychologists, but for everyone that is providing mental health services to others. But because therapists are human and have their own experiences, so it is crucial of tending to and working through those experiences. Furthermore, knowing when to refer is part of psychologist's ethical duty, which if you work alone in a case might be difficult to recognize that is outside your scope of expertise.
So the way I am understanding you, it should be a must, but is it a must, or like the therapists decide if they want to go to supervision or not?
And but the psychotherapy is a must supervision, as well as for psychologists, but it is sometimes it is not so well structured.
Okay, what are the most common complaints that a client come to therapy for?
Client mostly seek therapy and when they have serious mental health problems, but also people that are going through normal life changes, daily stresses, traumatized, and people who want to know and understand better themselves. These are the most common complaints that the client usually come to therapy. And there are a wide range of techniques that we use too, such as reduction and eliminations of symptoms, and other cognitive techniques, including relaxation methods. And what I want to emphasize is that almost all of them relies on the breathing techniques. And to continue further on to help people to cultivate a sense of mental wellness, to better understanding of themselves, and to becoming more aware of body, mind, and health. And this, in this way, like I try to support clients nowadays with the online platform to perform sessions or from anywhere they choose without losing the benefits of the traditional therapeutic session.
Okay, the last question. If you would share one tool, belief, or approach that is a must-have for a therapist, what would that be?
The therapeutic presence, I would say. Presence is one of the most therapeutic gifts therapists can offer clients. Living in the present by living where life is happening and continuing to work with dedication and passion, living in acceptance with peace in heart. In this way, we as a therapist can be able to support our clients. I never thought to establish any online platform that would provide and contribute to physical and mental well-being, especially through focusing in body-oriented psychotherapy and counseling psychology through the online resources. But by being present in my daily work and by continuing to listen closely to their needs and to the way how they were seeking for the support, it comes to this online resource that it's helping me to provide the psychological and therapeutical support. So I strongly believe that therapeutic presence is a must-have for me as a therapist.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this interview with me, for taking your time and answering all the questions.
Thank you, Eva, for such an incredible project. I really I'm looking forward to other therapists around the globe to connect with them and to share our support to each other.
Yeah, thank you. Are you a psychotherapist and want to be a part of my project? Feel free to contact me through my webpage. Thank you for listening.